You are born in the 6th century BC Sparta, in the region of Laconia. Your father is a Spartiate, a full citizen soldier. Your mother was raised the same way you're about to be. Your house smells of olive oil, sweat, and bronze polish. There is no ink here, no sandalwood, just muscle, discipline, and the distant clang of the training grounds. The first test comes before you can even remember it. The elders inspect you as an infant, checking your limbs, your lungs, your grip. A weak child is not raised here. A weak child is left on the slopes of Mount Taygetus for the earth to decide. You pass. You always tell yourself you passed because you were strong, not because you were lucky. Your mother does not coo over you the way mothers do elsewhere. She does not soften her voice. From the moment you can stand, she tells you the same thing your grandmother told her. Come back with your shield, or on it. You don't yet know what it means. You will. By age 3, you can run further than most boys your age in other cities. By age 5, you know that crying earns you nothing but a harder look from your mother. By age 7, your body has already been measured, weighed, and compared against the other girls in your village like livestock at a market that no one calls a market. You learn early that Sparta does not raise daughters to be quiet. Sparta raises daughters to be mothers of soldiers, and mothers of soldiers must be strong enough to survive childbirth, strong enough to run a household of slaves, strong enough to raise sons who won't disgrace the Agoge. Beauty is not currency here. Muscle is. The seasons pass differently in your household than they do elsewhere. There is no walled garden, no embroidery, no red thread. There is the training yard, hard-packed dirt, and the rhythmic thud of practice spears. While the boys are pulled from their homes at 7 to begin the Agoge, you remain with your mother. But your days look almost the same as theirs. Wrestling, running, javelin, discus. You strip down alongside the other girls in the public square, and no one thinks anything of it. Modesty is a luxury other cities can afford. Sparta cannot. Your brothers leave for the Agoge the same year you are handed your first practice spear. You watch them go, stripped of soft clothing, sent to sleep on reeds. They cut themselves, fed less than they need, so they learn to steal and not get caught. You feel something close to envy. You want the same brutal proving ground. Your mother tells you that you will get your own. Just wait. You turn 10, and the real training begins. You are not sent away like the boys, but you are drilled by the older women of the village who were once girls exactly like you, standing exactly where you stand now. They are not gentle. A missed throw earns you laps. A stumble earns you a switch across the back of your legs. You learn to run until your lungs burn like coals, and to keep running anyway, because stopping is worse than the burning. You spar. You wrestle boys your age and sometimes beat them, and no one apologizes for that. If anything, it is expected. A woman who cannot pin a man to the ground cannot raise a son who will hold the line at Thermopylae one day. That is what they tell you, over and over, until the words lose meaning and become instinct. By 12, your body no longer resembles the soft outlines of the girls in Athens or Corinth you've heard whispered about. Girls kept indoors, girls taught to weave instead of wrestle. Your arms are corded with muscle. Your legs are built for sprinting and for kicking a man twice your size off balance. Foreign visitors who pass through Laconia stare at you like you are something unnatural. You have learned to stare back until they look away first. You are 13 when the choruses begin. Naked or near naked, you and the other girls dance and sing in front of the young men of the city. in the full light of the sun, in front of everyone. It is not shame. It is inspection, and it is propaganda. The elders want the young men to see strong bodies and desire strong wives, strong enough to bear strong sons. You dance because refusing is not a concept anyone has given you. You dance because your thighs are proof of years spent earning the right to stand in that square. At 14, you are matched, not courted, matched. A Spartiate man named Leonidas, no relation to the king, though everyone jokes about it. He's 24, broad-shouldered, scarred along one forearm from a training accident. You don't fall in love, not exactly. Sparta doesn't leave much room for that kind of softness, but there's a kind of respect between you, forged the way metal is forged, under pressure, without apology. The wedding is nothing like the ones you've heard described in other cities. No feast that lasts for days, no gold, no procession through the streets. Your head is shaved. You are dressed in men's clothing and left alone in a dark room. And your new husband comes to you briefly, in secret, almost like a raid, and then returns to sleep in the barracks with the other men, because he is not permitted to live with you openly until he is 30. You lie there afterward, your shorn head strange under your fingers, and you think, this too is a kind of training. For years, this becomes your rhythm. He visits in secret. You run your own household because he is rarely in it. You manage slaves, land, grain stores, silver. Spartan women hold real property, real power within the walls, while the men live for the state. You are, for the first time, in charge of something entirely your own. And you find you are good at it, better than good. You expand your husband's holdings while he trains and drills and marches. Other wives whisper that you have a mind for numbers sharper than most men's. You let them whisper. It's not false. You are 18 when you bear your first child, a son. The joy is immediate but restrained. Everyone in Sparta restrains joy, saves it for something worth spending it on. The midwives wash him in wine instead of water, an old custom meant to test whether a body is strong enough to survive. He does not flinch. You allow yourself, just once, something close to pride. The elders come when he is only days old. They inspect him the way they once inspected you. His limbs, his lungs, his grip. You stand there, arms crossed, jaw set, and you tell yourself you are not afraid, even though you are. He passes. Of course he passes. He is your son. At 7, they take him. You knew this day was coming since before he was born, but knowing does something different to a body than believing does. He is led away to the Agoge, to sleep on reeds, to steal his food, to be beaten if caught stealing badly. You do not cry. Spartan mothers do not cry at the gate. You watch him disappear into the training grounds with the same flat expression you've worn your whole life. And only when you are back inside your own walls, alone, do you let your hands shake. Over the years, you bear 2 more children, another son, and finally, a daughter. Your daughter is handed the same practice spear you once held. You watch her run laps in the square, sparring with boys twice her size, and something in you both aches and settles. This is the only inheritance Sparta offers its daughters. Strength passed down like a blade, sharpened generation after generation, so no enemy will ever again call a Spartan woman weak. You are 32 when the messengers arrive from the north. Word spreads through Laconia, faster than fire through dry grass. The Persians are coming. An army so vast the rivers are said to run dry beneath their boots. King Leonidas, the real one, your husband's near namesake, is assembling his 300 at the pass of Thermopylae. Your husband is chosen, not drafted, chosen, the way only the most proven Spartiates are chosen for a stand like this. You help him dress in his armor for the last time, his bronze cuirass, his crimson cloak, the aspis shield with the lambda painted across its face. You do not weep. You have trained your entire life not to weep at moments exactly like this one. At the door, you say the words your mother said to you, the words her mother said to her, back through generations of women standing at exactly this threshold. Come back with your shield or on it. It is not cruelty, it is the deepest form of love this city knows how to offer. A refusal to imagine him as anything less than what you both were raised to be. He leaves before dawn. You do not watch him go past the edge of the square. Spartan wives do not linger at gates. You return to your household, to your ledgers, your slaves, your children, and you wait the way generations of women before you have waited, with your spine straight and your hands busy, because idle hands invite grief, and grief is a luxury the state cannot afford from its women. Weeks pass. The news arrives in pieces, carried by traders, by wounded stragglers, by rumor long before it arrives, by official word. Thermopylae has fallen. The 300 are dead, every one of them, including the king, including your husband. The city does not collapse into mourning the way you imagine other cities might. There are no wails in the street, no processions of grief. Spartan women are taught from birth that a son or husband's death in battle, facing the enemy, shield in hand, is not tragedy. It is the highest honor a family can receive. You are told this by the ephors themselves when they come to your door. You nod. You say the correct words. You do not know in that moment whether you believe them or whether belief has simply been trained out of you so thoroughly there is no difference left between the two. Your son, the elder one, now 15 and deep in the final brutal years of the Agoge, hears the news before you can tell him yourself. He finds you that evening, and for the first time since he was 7 years old, he lets you hold him, just briefly, before straightening his shoulders and walking back toward the barracks. He does not cry either. You taught him that. You are no longer certain it was a gift. The years after are quieter, but quiet in Sparta is never soft. You continue managing the estate, now entirely your own. Your name begins to carry weight in the women's councils, where widows of the fallen 300 are given a strange, unspoken authority, not warmth, exactly, but respect sharpened into something close to reverence. You are the wife of a man who did not run. In this city, that outlives almost everything else that could be said about you. Your daughter grows into the training yard the way you once did, and you watch her spar, watch her win, watch the older women switch her legs when she stumbles, and you feel the old ache return. Not grief this time, but recognition. You were her once. She will be someone else's mother one day, saying the same 6 words at the same threshold to a husband or a son, marching toward the same kind of ending. Your younger son survives the Agoge and earns his place in the Spartan ranks. He is sent to campaigns you no longer fully track, border skirmishes, punitive marches, the endless grinding wars that keep the Helot population in check and the neighboring cities wary. Each time he leaves, you say the words, Each time he returns, shield in hand, you allow yourself one exhale of something you refuse to call relief, because relief implies you doubted him, and doubt is not a currency Sparta trades in either. You are 56 when your body finally begins to fail you, not from age alone, but from a lifetime spent training a frame never meant to soften. Your joints ache from decades of running, wrestling, bearing children between drills. The younger women in the square still glance at you as they train, the way you once glanced at the veterans who came before you, checking their form, learning what strength looks like when it's had 40 extra years to settle into a body. You spend your final years the way most Spartan widows do, not idle, never idle, but slower. You oversee your grandchildren's inspections the way the elders once inspected you. You watch your granddaughter, barely 3, gripped and measured and weighed by hands that will decide, without asking her, exactly the shape her life will take. You do not intervene. There was never a version of this system where intervening was possible. You simply watch, the way your mother watched, the way her mother watched before her. An unbroken chain of women handing down the same 6 words at the same threshold, generation after generation, city after war, shield after shield. When you die, there is no grand tomb, no jeweled crown, no incense-thick chamber built in your honor. Spartan tradition reserves marked graves almost exclusively for men who died in battle and women who died in childbirth. You qualify under the second condition. Technically, though it happened decades before your death, a footnote earns you a name carved in stone, small and plain, in a burial ground crowded with women exactly like you. History remembers Sparta for its 300 men at a mountain pass, for their shields and spears and the red cloaks soaked in glory. It does not remember the women who raised those men to walk toward death without flinching, who trained their daughters to say the same 6 words at the same doorway, who measured their own worth against a body's ability to endure. You were never given a shield, but you carried one all the same, the whole city on your back, generation after generation, and no one ever thought to carve your name any larger than the space it was allowed.